Hey people, hey beautiful and handsome people. Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel, and it's another Tuesday, of course, our book review. Drum rolls. Welcome to my YouTube channel once again, and you know already that Tuesdays are for book reviews, and the book I'm reviewing for this month is Do Not Settle for Safe by Sarah Jakes Roberts. Don't Settle for Safe by Pastor Sarah Jakes Roberts, someone I really do admire, and trust me, this book is really the one for you because it's going to bring out that part of you that you've been hiding, that part of you that needs to grow. And last week I talked about the introduction and everything she said, and I even talked about some quotes that she mentioned. You could go back to the video. This is your cue to go back to that introduction video to make sure that you watch it. So welcome to another episode of our book review, and we'll be talking about the first chapter, which is No More Excuses. No more excuses. No more excuses. What have you been making excuses for? In this chapter, Pastor Sarah Jakes talked about how excuses do not bring out the best in us, how excuses are the comfort zones that strays us away from the better version of ourselves. Let's take a short break and we will be right back. Ta-da! Hi guys, welcome back from the short break, and I'm sure you are ready to learn from this video, because if you do not read, readers are leaders actually. I'm so sure you're ready to learn from this video because there's so much to learn from today's chapter. And today's chapter has six subheadings, and it is fully packed because I really learned a lot while reading this book. Now, she first talked about how she's stuck with the person that she has created, and I'm going to read exactly what she wrote so we can understand better. I am stuck in the person now I've created, but how can I dig deep when it's taking all that I have to hold myself together? Thinking of all the broken pieces scattered around my life makes me afraid to face tomorrow, but I long for freedom. I want to find the light that leads me out of this cave. Please God, if you can see me, send me a reminder that you're still with me. So she talked about how that she was stuck in the person that she's created, and she doesn't even know what to do anymore, but she's praying to God already that God should see her through, and send her a reminder that he is still with her. So I'm so sure most times we've had moments in our lives where you do not even know what you're doing, like a lot of things that surfaced in your life, and you don't even know what is going on, but you just hold on to the word of God, and you're praying to God that God should see you through and remind you that He's still with you. Now, so this chapter is talking about no more excuses, and she talked about how we give so many excuses for so many things in our lives. I would start with some quotes that she wrote, and I also penned down. She said, Nothing has happened that God can't use to restore you. Nothing has happened that God can't use to restore you. So I'm going to build from here. I do not know what you are going through. I do not know you. You're watching me. I do not know what you are going through. I do not know the battles you have fought. I do not know what that pain has actually cost you. But one thing I'm sure of is that God would not bring something to you when He's not sure that you can actually face it. Nothing has happened to you that God cannot use to restore you. But she said the first step in that restoration is recognizing the power you've always had to pull yourself out of darkness and constantly push towards the light at the end of the tunnel. Because the world needs you, baby girl. The world needs you, young man. The world needs you. The world needs you. So you should not just hold on to the past and the pain and everything you've been through and letting it weigh you down, because there's so much God is waiting to do through you. One thing I want you to know is that it's not just about watching the video and and just following through every episode. The success of this book review video relies on you connecting with every part of you, especially the pieces that are buried behind that smile. So I will start with the first subheading, which is clothes that do not fit anymore. The first subheading we have in the book under the first chapter is clothes that do not fit anymore. So she gave a summary of how she and her husband, I really love how Pastor Torrey loves Pastor Sarah Jakes. She gave an example of how her husband, how they really loved each other, and how they had how they had 5 children, but because of how their love grew more, they decided to have another baby, and they welcomed their last baby girl, Ella. So when she was still pregnant, the doctor diagnosed that Ella was going to be about 8 pounds, like she was going to weigh 8 pounds. But as when she gave birth, Ella weighed 6 pounds. So she went to get the diapers and everything of that particular size. But to their greatest surprise, Ella grew older, and before they knew it, Ella was already weighing 12 pounds. Now it wasn't difficult for Ella to let go of her 6 pounds diapers, but it was much more difficult for our sister. But it was much more difficult for our sister to let go of her clothes that didn't fit her anymore. So she moved further by saying that it is so obvious, and she wasn't talking about clothes, because I know even me, so many times we had this particular clothes that we loved so much, but as we grew older and we still want to wear that clothes, even if we are so much aware that clothes doesn't fit us anymore, because we develop a kind of feeling for that clothes. So now the title is the subheading says clothes that don't fit anymore. Now so when she's obviously not talking about clothes now, she's trying to link it to you. What are those ideas? We have so many notions and ideas that don't fit anymore, and we find it so difficult. We find it so difficult to let go. So now she's telling you that you should let go of those ideas, those thoughts, the past that really do not fit anymore. Ella's sister was still trying to hold on to her own clothes, and we could easily relate to that, and we could laugh about it. But what about you? Those ideas that you really hold tight to, the past that you really hold tight to, the comfort zones that you really hold tight to, that you do not want to let go. They don't fit anymore. You should let go of them. Stop giving excuses that because you really love, because you feel that it's comfortable doesn't mean that it is okay for you. Those clothes do not fit anymore. And from that subheading, it led us to the other subheading, which is youthful ambition. What do you need to let go? What do you need to let go? That was the first question she wrote there. What do you need to let go? Now she gave a picture of herself. The first image that shows up is our younger self that has so many insecurities, that is not yet that does not even have stability about so many things. And the other self is her growing into womanhood and having stability and knowing who she is and knowing what she wants for herself. But what she says there is these two selves, both of them cannot exist without one another. You know, she has the little her that is still trying to find balance and is still scared of so many things and has so many insecurities, and the older self that has grown into womanhood and found her purpose and finally becoming who God actually wants her to become. Now the older self cannot exist without the little self, and the little self cannot exist without the older self. Do you get it? There are so many things there are so many flaws there are so many mistakes that you actually made when you were your little self. and you've become your older self, what do you need to let go in your older self? When your little self, you've made so many mistakes, you've done so many things, but now that you've grown into your older self, what do you need to let go the way you are now that you are your older self? What do you need to let go from your little self? That is what she's trying to paint here. What do you need to let go? Because she now, Pastor Sarah Jakes, she now understands that flaws are a necessary part of life because they foster humility. Flaws are a necessary part of life because they foster humility. What do you need to let go? What do you need to let go? What do you need to leave behind? What do you need to leave behind? I'm asking you that question, and this will lead us to our next subheading. So the later self is very easy to feel comfortable with who they are, but you won't really know what you can become. You won't really know what you can be if you are comfortable with who you think you already are, because there is so much more God really wants to do through you. So what do you need to let go? What is stopping God? What is stopping you from becoming the better version of yourself? What is stopping you from maximizing all that God actually wants you to do? Because the world is waiting for you, and the world cannot have you just the way you are. You have to become the better version of yourself and let go of the other things. Let go of the insecurities. Let go of the past hurts. Let go of the pain. Let go of the trauma. Because you can't give the world trauma. You can't give the world pain. You have to give the world the best version of yourself. And this will lead us to the next episode, which is dangerous comparison game. Dangerous comparison game. The subheading alone is actually preaching itself. It's actually saying itself, because it's very easy for you to compare yourself to people. Very easy for you to say, okay, this person is doing this. Now, one thing that really struck out for me in this subheading is when she said that the fact that someone else is doing something wrong doesn't justify the wrong you are doing. So you should stop pointing fingers. You're wrong, and you're absolutely. It is obvious that what you're doing is wrong. But because you already saw that someone else is doing that thing, doesn't mean that you're right. Now I wrote down something. Now, nobody has it all figured out. Nobody has it all figured out. You think those people you are seeing online, you think that person you really admire so much does not have a dark corner of their life that trying to become clear of. Everybody is trying to become better. Everybody is trying to become stable. Everyone is trying to become the best version of themselves. So stop comparing yourself to people. It is so easy and it is very easy for you to compare yourself to people and say, okay, because Bola is doing that, what Bola did is not even up to what I'm doing. The bad that Bola. So even if you are doing a wrong thing of about 20%, and Bola on the other side is doing a wrong thing about 70%, it still doesn't give you the right to say that what you are doing is proper. God has given each and every one of us different graces, different faith, and we all act in different capacities. So the fact that somebody is doing something wrong doesn't justify your own wrong. Let me repeat myself. The fact that somebody is doing something wrong does not in any way justify your own wrong. Because mediocrity is very comforting until it becomes debilitating. Mediocrity is very comforting until it becomes so debilitating. You cannot just point a finger at other people's shortcomings just to justify your own. So stop comparing yourself to people. The goal is to become the better version of yourself, not the better version of someone else. So you have to just let go of, stop comparing yourself to people. Strive to become the best version of yourself. That is what she's trying to say here. And I really connect, and I actually resonated with that, because it is so easy to point fingers at people when you yourself are still even trying to become the best version of yourself. I'm not saying that you cannot correct people. What I'm trying to say is that what what are those areas of your life where you are still lagging behind? Don't shelve it. Don't shelve those areas of your life and point at the finger and point fingers at others when you're not even trying to become better at the areas where you are defaulting. And what I wrote down a statement she wrote it because it's really stood out for me. She said, God doesn't measure our lives on a curve. He has given each of us a certain measure of faith and power to have an incredible life. Each of us has an opportunity to dust off the shame, fear, and pain that threaten to bury us and reemerge with strength and tenacity. So we are all different people and we have different faith, different capacity. So some might be at a particular stage of their life where they're still rising and falling, they're still trying to get balance. And you, on the other hand, you've gotten balance to a certain point, but that still doesn't mean that you've gotten balance to a certain point and you still have some defaults in your life and are still trying to clear it. Then the moment you see that, okay, this person is still rising and falling, begin to point fingers and trying to justify your own actions where you know you are still defaulting. That is very wrong. Very wrong. I need you to stop that today. And I'm sure you've learned a lot so far. Now this will lead us to our next subheading, which is resist the urge to lower your expectations. What I picked from this is that a lot of things have happened. We've experienced disappointment, we've experienced failures, we've experienced so many things. But resist the urge to lower your expectation. Do not settle for less. Don't you ever settle for less. Don't you ever settle for less. Don't resist the urge to lower your expectation. But because you've actually failed before and now you're trying and now you're trying to do something else and get better at it, because you are still scared of the past, you're beginning to see your future through the lens of your past. Don't see the future through the lens of your past, because you begin to have the what if ideas, which will not even help you out at all. Because the moment you begin to have the what if ideas, you begin to lower your expectation. What do you want to do? What do you want to become? What do you want to get better at? Don't lower your expectation because of what has happened in the past. So I'm going to read the things she wrote here. She said, moving on takes effort, intentionality, and discipline. And if you are going to gather the broken pieces of your life and build again, you must be willing to clear your heart and mind of excuses. So we make out so many plans, we plan out so many things, write so many goals, we want to do so many things, but because we've been hurt in the past, because we failed in the past, we now begin to give excuses of what if, and we begin to lower and water down so many great things that we're actually supposed to achieve. And she said, your comeback will become another setback if you focus on all the reasons you could fail. You've already failed before. You've already been hurt before. But if you begin to focus on the reasons why you're going to fail at it again, your comeback will become your setback. And normally, your comeback is actually supposed to be better than what you had before. But the moment you begin to focus on the reasons why you're going to fail, your comeback will become your setback, and you're not going to get better at it at all. So stop viewing your future through the lens of the past, because it lowers down your expectation and it makes you settle for less. That is what she's trying to say here. And this will lead me to the next heading: name your pain. Name your pain. I'm sure you're wondering why I'm laughing and saying pain. Name your pain. Let me say it again. Name your pain. Name your pain. You were somebody before you became who you are. You used to be loving, you used to be kind, you used to be happy, you used to be joyful, you used to put on a very smiley face. You used to light up every room you've always entered. But what happened? What changed your mind? What ruined everything? Hey, let's go back. Name your pain. Pastor Sarah Jakes is telling you to name your pain. I'm going to read out something that really struck out for me. Name your pain. You feel that so many things, and you've decided that you would not love again, you will not give again, you will not do this again, you will not write again, you will not go to school again. And there's this common slang that people just say, stay wicked. You don't show your shit, they show your own back. Hey, that is not who you are. You know that that's not who you are. So the only way you can break through is when you name your pain. What happened? Ask yourself, question yourself. You used to be kind, you used to be nice, but now you used to be a very patient and kind person, but now you are rude. Now you react to situations. Ask yourself, what happened? What changed? Reverse, just reverse. Look back in hindsight. Take a step back and ask yourself, what happened? Why am I like this? Ask yourself questions. Why am I like this? Why am I behaving the way I do now? What changed? And if you do all of that and you answer those questions in a very honest way, trust me, you're not going to have excuses. Now, this will lead me to the next subheading, which is the last one. Keep the promises you made to yourself. Keep the promises you made to yourself. Now, discipline is very important. Discipline is a very major thing if you want to succeed. We write out so many goals and the things that we want to achieve. We have so many things that we want to achieve, but we are not disciplined enough to keep the promises we kept to ourselves. Now, in this subheading, she gave an example of how that she had already told herself that she was not going to eat dessert again. But anytime she goes to a gathering, she begins to analyze the whole thing and begin to justify. See, okay, the moment you begin to justify your actions, you are wrong. The moment you begin to justify and begin to fight everything just to claim that and prove the point that you are right, you are wrong. You are wrong. When God tells you, when maybe people, so many persons fight fornication. They say everything to justify their actions. The moment you begin to justify your actions, you are wrong. So now she said she already told herself that she was not going to eat dessert again, and when she goes to a gathering, she begins to see the dessert and it becomes so tempting, and she begins to tell herself that dessert is from a bean which makes it vegetable, and she says so many things. Or she already told herself that she was not going to take ice cream again. The moment she sees ice cream, she begins to tell herself that ice cream is vitamin D, and vitamin D is very beneficial to the body. Olga, you kept a promise to yourself not to do that thing again. Why are you still doing it? Why are you still doing it? If you cannot be honest with yourself, how do you expect other people to be honest with you? If you cannot be honest with yourself, how do you expect other people to be honest with you? So now I've actually summarized today's chapter and everything from name your pain to keep the promises that you kept to yourself. And I know that you're not going to give excuses again. I know that you're going to confront that past. I know you're going to confront that thing that has happened to you before. I know you're going to become the better version of yourself. I know you're going to let go of the old clothes. What is your own old clothes? Your old clothes might be your mindset. Your old clothes might be your bad behavior. Your old clothes might be that thing you are defaulting at. What is your old clothes? What are you giving excuses for? And I feel that after today's video, you're not going to give excuses again. I really learned a lot from this book. I really learned a lot from this book, and trust me, I'm ready to let go of excuses. I don't want to give excuses anymore. I'm so sure that this is also what you're going to subscribe to. No more excuses, no more excuses, no more excuses. I'm sure you watched this video to the end and you really learned a lot. See you in my next book review video on Tuesday, same time and same channel. Inside Out with Prosby. So next week we will be reviewing the next chapter, chapter 2. Find your weeds. And I'm really sure you're going to learn a lot next week again. Thank you so much for watching to the end. I really do love you, and do not forget to subscribe, like and share. And that's on period.